Hello and welcome back to the Skies of ARDATHAS. This is episode 9. It feels good to be back. Took a quick break. We did play some D&D during the break, but we didn't stream it. However, we're now returning to this campaign. And when last we left our heroes, they investigated the... Oh, no. First, we did a flashback to the boat, the Torrent, in which... Dave, you chose the name, Dave. I literally just saw my note that said new boat equals Torrent.
Your own petard.
So back on the Torrent, when they were leaving the village of Greenwood, Irynyx found her mirror that she had won back during the Midsummer Festival, what feels like a year ago at this point, but was actually just a couple 10-day ago.
You like that?
And Irynyx looked in the mirror and saw a different version of herself, which was a little bizarre, particularly carrying a toolkit that came from, or that was emblazoned with the symbol of the Artificers Guild from Steelcliff. And then she also saw that there were other versions of some of her companions in that mirror as well, including Squall with an eye patch and Tig with a prosthetic arm. So some interesting notes there. And then...
Wait, Tig had a prosthetic.
Yeah. And they all had goatees as well.
I was missing an arm.
Huh. Yeah, and then you attached one on. Like you were attaching them. Yep. I listened to the episode today. That was in there.
I'm a robot.
I think they're always...
the whole... I mean, it's always
considered a prosthetic arm.
Everything is prosthetic.
It's, yeah. Well, I mean, you have two prosthetic arms right now, yeah. So, and then from there, then we jumped back to the current timeline where everyone was preparing to enter the temple to Eklim. They found that it was currently under the ownership, quote unquote, of some wargs and a manticore. By giving up a lot of food, they were able to make their way past the wargs and down into the interior of the temple, where they fought against some animated armor and a Minotaur living crystal statue. They learned some more about the culture that created these temples, but not a whole lot, but some important notes there. And then from there, they went back upstairs, and again, using even more of their rations, they were able to send the wargs away and deal with the manticore so that they could inspect the mosaic that was shattered and scattered about the ground floor of the temple, where they determined a couple of other key points. I think one in particular, one other key point, according to their comparing that mosaic to the one they already did from the Sun Temple. And then once they were done with that, they headed across the open plains towards Highfell and went to the Cartographers Guild in the city of Highfell, where they met with a stodgy and cantankerous gatekeeper of the atlases and of the maps in the Cartographers Guild, who refused to help them in any way unless they gave up an extreme amount of coin or did a favor to him, because this is an RPG. So if they help him out, he might be able to scratch their back, obviously. And so now currently they can either pay, what was the gold coin? What was it, 200?
I think it's 200.
To see a map? Yeah, but not to copy it.
See a map.
Yeah. So they could either pay 200 gold pieces, or they can find the missing Cartographers Guild member Myaldres, a Dragonborn, who stole a map from the guild, and they want it back. And this gatekeeper was pretty particular, where he said, I encourage you to make him regret stealing from the guild. So he has no problem if you guys rough him up a little bit. But that was where we left off. You are now leaving the Cartographers Guild. Aerashka and Celsia got a room for the group, or multiple rooms for the group, at the Lamb Public House. And they were, well, one of them, Celsia, was telling stories of your guys' exploits to the gnomes of that tavern. What are you all doing from here?
You guys show back up at the tavern as I'm finishing my tale. And look, here they are, the heroes of my story. Guys, come on.
We are.
I just wave at them.
Yeah, come on.
Hi.
Well, that's it for every. Okay, bye.
How far is the lamb from the outer ring of the city?
The lamb would be in the outer ring of the city.
Uh-huh.
Come, companions. How do you expect people to know your names if you don't, indulge in the tales?
I'm going to go to the innkeep and ask if they have seen a red dragonborn recently.
Oh, sure. Yeah, well, let's see. So you go and see if they, yeah, she'd say, I see a number of Dragonborn. Is there one in particular that you're looking for?
He's a cartographer.
She's like, yeah, he used to stay here, but then he met a tiefling, and I haven't seen them in a few days since then.
Do you remember what this tiefling looked like?
I do. He was pale reddish skin, large horns that's kind of swept back, dark hair. He was wearing a Merchant's Guild insignia last I saw.
Did you see the dragonborn's cartographer's insignia?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll toss them a silver.
Okay.
I tossed Josh a silver.
Sorry, I'm responding to a message in chat. What is everyone else doing?
I am buying everyone a round of drinks.
All right. The bartender happily fills six pints of cider.
Interesting. What kind of
Mm.
cider?
Is it
Apple.
hard cider?
It's not hard, no.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Not what I expected, but okay.
It's delightful.
How much does that run me?
It'd be 12 silver.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It'd be 12 copper.
Okay.
We got the good
I was
stuff.
going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
where do you guys go?
I tried to get into the cartographer's guild and they wouldn't let me in until I find a dragonborn called Myaldries who has stolen a map from them. And
Oh.
we're in the outer ring of the city. Or not.
What do you need at the Cartographer's Guild?
To see a map.
What map?
I'll know it when I see it.
How very mysterious. Well, if you would like help on this endeavor, I'm sure I could be of assistance, and our companions would love to help, right? And I turn to everyone else with a big smile.
I got nothing better to do.
We'll definitely help if only to prove that cartographer gentleman wrong. He was, I usually like everyone I meet, but I didn't really like him.
You do?
Usually, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It takes a lot of effort for someone to get on my bad side.
Irynyx,
Yes.
will you help us?
Well, I've already committed myself to the effort.
Oh. How about you, Aerashka?
How long is this going to take?
Hopefully not long.
Okay.
You're in a rush.
A bit.
I mean, buildings were falling out of the sky.
To be fair, thank you.
I always have time to help my friends. That's what it means to be a knight errand. I think.
According to the innkeeper, they haven't seen them for a few days. They used to stay here, but they've met a merchant guild tiefling and haven't been seen for a few days. So I guess we check at the merchant's guild next.
That makes sense.
We can always do our best to search, and if it's taking too long, then we can come back to it. By the way, Nick, did we? It's been a while. Did we get a description of what map was taken?
Oh, you did not.
Oh, good.
Oh, that's great.
They want you to go after my Aldries.
And just hope that he happens to have the map. That... Okay.
Field map from him.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I guess we could always go back and ask, but...
Well, I'm assuming if it's like a guild official map, there would be some sort of insignia on it.
Yeah. Or something. It would look fancy. What time is it, like, in game?
I would say you guys are probably approaching, like, late afternoon, early evening.
Okay. So we have time to do some investigating before nightfall. Shall we?
Yeah. Sure.
Down for cider.
Yeah.
All right, companions, let us embark. We still need a name for ourselves. Do we have a name for ourselves yet?
No. Did we keep the Cartographer's Guild insignia that we recovered, or?
Yeah, I ripped it off of the journal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We tried to impress him in a way. Yeah, I think he gave it back though. So.
Yeah, he would have.
Okay. Still got it.
Can I use locate object to try and find, because it's 1,000 feet, to try and find another insignia like that?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's badass.
Can you link that spell in chat for me? Well then,
Just so we're clear, what is this favor? So we're supposed to find this guy and get the map? That's it?
Just the map that he stole. And maybe
Okay.
turn it into a pulp.
Yeah, the guy was being kind of shady, suggesting he would want us to rough him up. It's one of the reasons why I don't like him very much. I don't think we're going to do that, right?
Shady too. Because if we had earned the reputation of shadiness.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Who's shady?
He
thought we were shady.
We're not shady. We're bastions of light and justice. How dare you?
It kind of squints at you.
Yeah, I remember, Celsia, we weren't there, apparently.
Well,
They were just looking at these four people.
they're still not shady.
Aerashka drawing lines.
It's true that when we first met, I mistook you for villains, but you're not shady. I mean, maybe in certain circumstances, depending on the rumors that you may have heard. No, you're not shady.
Squall.
Yeah.
Squall, your spell would locate another Cartographer's Guild insignia about 800 feet to the west, moving slowly northward.
Ooh.
All right.
You smell something, boy?
This is gonna go well.
That was not in character.
Really?
Yeah.
Sounds like fucking Celsia bullshit.
Someone's trapped in a well.
Yeah, what's the problem, Lassie?
Just you wait till the horse comes back. Okay, I'm gonna follow out the door.
Okay.
Wait,
Follow
where are you
after.
going?
I think I know where.
Squall, just like run to catch up.
All right. So Squall leaves, and is anybody not following Squall? I'll just do that. Perfect. Okay.
So, someone that doesn't look like Aerashka is also following.
Oh, what does this someone look like?
What?
Natural marks.
No, let's see. Oh, just someone random. Basically, I'm using the Hat of Disguise to not look like myself. So when you do some illegal things, I am not going to be that same person.
All right. Well, the party plus one leaves the lamb and heads off in that direction. And after winding through some of the streets in the outer area of the city, you see a red dragonborn walking, kind of staggering, kind of swaying a little bit down the crowded street. And then after a little bit, he bumps into a gnome, and the gnome like falls to the ground, and he yells at the gnome and then keeps going. But he's definitely moving as if inebriated.
Sorry, I just did a
This was
random
easy.
character generator to see what my my thing is. It's
Okay.
a half orc bard.
Perfect.
Is that
And how far away is he?
Up 30 feet.
we're like right up on him?
Can we follow him for a bit and see where he goes?
Sure.
So it's like evening, right? So maybe he's going back to wherever he's staying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Why don't, if you want to follow without being seen, I'll take stealth checks, but you all can make them at advantage because of the crowded street.
I make it at normal because I'm wearing plate mail. Or not plate mail, but armor. Big armor.
Hmm.
Big armor.
Big armor.
Surprise, surprise, the giant robot man is not very quiet.
Wow, I rolled pretty poor too.
Damn.
Well, he's drunk. Maybe he still won't notice.
Yeah, you follow him for a little ways, and then you notice that after maybe going about 50 feet or so, he kind of pauses at a street corner, and he slowly turns to look back behind him. And this gaggle of random adventurers following him, you all try and split up and make yourselves look more natural.
He's
with
looking at the wall.
I guess Tig waves. So. What? You roll? Yeah, you did, but you're traveling with a bunch of people who did not roll 19. So he would notice Aerashka, or Erashork, I guess, and Tig. Those are the only two that he would notice. And Tig waves back at him, so Tig effectively rolled a 0.
I mean, I'm not scattering either if he sees me. So.
Right. Yeah, he lays eyes on you two, and then you have this moment where you realize that you two are suddenly alone, and your companions have all hidden elsewhere. And he kind of like looks you two up and down, and then he turns back the direction he was going, and he starts walking again. And when you tell him to hold up, he quickens pace.
Just wanted to talk. This is me being an orc, apparently.
So he heads off more quickly, and he's going to duck down an alley. So if you guys are going to continue to follow him, then we're going to do... let's treat this as a skill challenge. And so what I will need from those of you who are participating... it's a skill challenge, so you pick the skill that you want to test, you describe to me how you're using it, and then you'll roll that, and then at the end we'll tabulate the total and compare it to, however much you roll, and then that'll put you in a bracket versus like whether you succeed, whether you kind of succeed, whether you, that sort of thing. So Since Aerashka and Tig both failed the stealth check, maybe we'll have them go last because they're not in a position to directly react as well as the rest of you are. So, Dave, do you want to go first since you rolled the highest on stealth?
Okay. I am gonna. Can I use? If I want to try and figure out like which way he's going,
Mm-hmm.
what skill would I use for that?
I would probably go with an insight check.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, you're pretty certain that he, despite the fact that he's trying to weave and move through alleys and cut behind places and shops and stuff like that, you get a pretty good sense of the direction that he's heading. It's still in a fairly northward direction. Yeah, so you can kind of help direct your team with that knowledge.
Is he like full blown running at this point?
He's not, well, you know what? Yeah, he's not a good judge of what's going on. I would say he is running through the street at this point.
Okay. Well, then I would like to chase after him with my athletics.
All right.
And I could channel divinity to get advantage. That worth it? Let me see. Yeah, why not? It's almost nighttime. Probably get a long rest soon. So yeah,
Probably.
I will use my I tap into my divine power and my desire to help my friends, and all of a sudden there's a spur of movement as Celsia just rushes forward. 21.
Nice. Yeah, not only is he pretty easy to keep pace with, you don't lose ground, but you do stay caught up with him at least.
Cool.
All right, who's next?
I can go. I was gonna do insight at first too, but I think this might be a little weird, but because this is like more of a city environment, but Zephyr's pretty used to being in the outdoors and like orienting with the sun and having a good sense of direction. So I was thinking survival to like make sure I don't get lost and try to figure out the best direction to like cut him off.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, that's just a 10.
I'm going to take this opportunity to remind everybody that we're sitting on 4 inspiration right now. Case is shaking his head. It is there. You don't have to use it. So yeah, so Zephyr, I'm assuming you're sticking with the 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Using the information, like the directions that Squall was able to glean from my Eldries, and also kind of using Celsia as a bit of a distraction since she is just taking off after him. You try and find a side route to maybe cut him off or get in front of him some way. But then you end up getting out of your alley and looking around and realize, wait a minute, I don't know where anybody is. I don't see anybody. So, all right. Who's next?
We're just going in descending order of stealth rolls. I think Irynyx might shout after him. Try and get him to stop of his own volition. Say, we're not with the guild.
So you're going for what? Persuasion?
Persuasion.
Nice.
Look at that number.
You shout after him, and he slows his pace and looks over his shoulder. And you get the sense that he's thinking about stopping, but then he sees Celsia still tearing after him. And he stumbles forward, loses some ground, but decides that no, running is probably still the better thing to do. All right, Tig or Aerashka?
I think I'm gonna do the old half-orc shout at everyone to clear the way
Sure.
that everyone loves. So, anyway.
All right, that'll.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Suddenly there is a wide opening in the street before you, and you can catch up super easily now. All right, Tig, why don't you finish this off?
Tig is going to chase after as well and just calling out, dude, slow down. We just want to talk. But I am going full tilt after him.
Sure.
So I am going to roll athletics.
All right. Okay. Now with an open street ahead of you, thanks to the crowd moving aside, Tig is able to rush forward, and he and Celsia work together to get on either side of this guy. And how do you go about stopping him? I'll ask Tig, since, well, both of you. Why don't you both decide how you're going to go about stopping him?
Can I, like, since I'm in like super peerless athlete mode, can I like do a cool like anime run past him, slide, and then like get in his way or something?
Sure, yeah.
So is that okay with you, Josh?
Sure.
Okay, and then you can like come up from behind or whatever.
I was gonna say I'll just kind of be the looming giant robot behind him.
Yeah, so I like to think that like, so I do that and I'm like, halt, and then he turns to like run away from me, and just a wall of robot.
Yeah, just slams into Tig.
Yeah,
knocking him on his ass. And he's sitting on the ground, and he looks up, and then the rest of you eventually close in, and the last one, of course, is Zephyr. And he's just like, what is? He's fine, whatever you want. I'll just here. And he reaches in his pockets and he throws a bunch of copper on the ground. He's like, just take it.
No. Pick that up. We're not thieves. In fact, quite the opposite.
You're here to give me something? Oh.
No, we're here to catch a thief.
Thought you said you weren't with the guild.
We're not.
I think he just admitted to being a thief.
He gets up.
So.
And he dusts off his pants, and then he starts to tip a little bit and stands back up, and he goes, I don't have it.
And why not?
Because I sold it, because I needed the coin.
It does seem like an expensive membership.
Really, there are better ways to earn coin.
Who did you sell it to?
He's like, well, now if I just told you who I sold it to, I wouldn't be able to sell this guy anything in the future. You wouldn't trust me.
The tiefling merchant? From the merchant?
Pretty sure you're not going to be able to sell anything to him in the future if we, leave a message behind.
What do you mean? Are you?
I don't know.
Are you
Tig is
threatening to hurt
smiling,
me?
so
We're not going to hurt you, right? Everyone? We're not going to.
I don't think so.
An obnoxious, officious, very unreasonable man responsible for arranging tome viewings or map viewings.
Oh, you're talking about Barnaby. Yeah, I know him.
He does sound like a Barnaby.
Yeah.
Yes.
In case that exactly that's it.
He requested our assistance in returning the map.
He's like, well, like I said, I don't have it. So have a good one. And he turns in a circle trying to find an opening between everybody and ends up doing a full 360.
Tig just kind of puts a hand on his shoulder.
He's like, all right, well...
Who did you sell it
Oh.
to?
He's like, Tiefling. His name is, Mormoros.
And where can we find him or her?
Well, I was trying to find him myself. Last I met with him, it was at the Hungry Rat just in town. But that was a few days ago, and I've gone back there every day since, and he hasn't been there.
How much were you paid for this?
Oh, I got quite a bit of coin.
He doesn't look like he has a lot of coin, does he?
No.
Well,
I'm just a roll of the insight trying to figure out if he's...
Yeah, how drunk is he?
You get the sense that he's telling the truth.
Yeah. So this merchant doesn't have a shop, they just wander around town?
do they
He's
have
like-
any haunts besides the Hungry Rat?
He's like, that's where I met him. That's the only place I've ever seen him. He's like, this guy's not a merchant. He's a coin collector. He's someone who goes out and collects on debts.
Would you call him shady?
Oh, yeah.
Would you call us shady?
I'm not going to get hit if I say yes, am I?
Zephyr?
No.
Well, then,
I
yeah.
just want to know if we're shady.
He kind of, his eyes kind of go
bothering
from,
me.
his eyes kind of bounce between you all, and he's like, some more than others, maybe.
Celsia has like
A
big,
small business owner.
big bleeding eyes, like I'm not shitty. All right.
Oh.
So is this Mormoros part of the Merchants Guild?
There he is, yeah.
They regularly traffic in stolen material.
They don't buy anything they can get. He's like, I owed the Merchants Guild money, and I figured that map would cover it, and
And then you spent the rest on drink, did you?
there wasn't much left to spend, but yeah.
Did you happen to look at exactly what you stole? What kind of map was it?
Oh, it was a map of the Scar, the ruined wilderness just south of Grand Lake.
Is that on Corwin?
Did you make a
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. No, I didn't make a copy. That's illegal.
What?
Lovely.
Okay, well, you didn't really hurt anyone or anything, so, and we have what we came for. Squall?
Where are you staying?
Well, I was staying at the Lamb, but I was hoping that I could catch Mormoros, so I moved to the Rat.
But you haven't seen him since.
I have not, no.
So you're staying at the same place.
Well, yeah, but I mean, every day I go out looking for him. It's not like I just sit there waiting for him to come back.
Why are you looking for him?
Stupid.
I
Just
missed what you
curious.
said, Justin.
Why are you looking for him?
Well, I think he owes me more than what he gave me for that map. That should be more than the few silver that he gave me. Right?
I don't know anything about maps.
Well,
He gave you a few silver.
the map covered the debt that I owed to the guild, and he gave me a few silver extra. But I think it should be worth more than that after the trouble I had to go through to get it.
The trouble.
What does that
You mean
Mhm.
the
Well, I had to. Well,
The-
I had to sneak in
robbery.
and grab it.
yeah, the burglary.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's not easy.
the skullduggery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Sup-
put my hand on his shoulder and say, I don't know much about being shady, but I don't think you're very good at it. You might want to find a different way of making money. Just my advice.
He's like, well,
again, Nick? Sorry.
Scar.
of the Scar. which is a ruined wilderness southwest of Grand Lake on Corwin.
I'm just curious, how did you how did you get into the Cartographers Guild and steal it?
Oh, well, I donated I'm a member, first of all.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I got in, because I had a badge, and I stole it when I just waited till Barnaby wasn't looking, and I waited till at night when there weren't many people around, and I sneaked in and grabbed it and then ran. How? I was already in. I mean, I waited till no one was at the door, and I just walked into Barnaby's room.
So it was one of Barnaby's personal maps.
I think so. That's why I think I should get more for it than just the few silver that I got.
So why'd you owe this money to the Merchants Guild? What'd you do to incur your debt?
Well,
his life story.
Gains money.
Someone of my tastes aren't cheap. I'll put it that way.
Your tastes aren't cheap. Okay, now I'm interested.
I am not.
We don't need his whole backstory. Whoa, wait, hold on.
Well, yeah, because now it sounds like you're like doing something really bad.
Reveal your backstory. Reveal backstory.
In my line of it, my understanding of things is that expensive vices, particularly expensive vices, are particularly nasty.
I mean, when I have the coin, it's pretty good.
My point being, do you need the coin because you did something that hurts people?
I didn't hurt anybody, I don't think.
Insight check?
Sure, go ahead.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty bad at this because I'm very horrible. So 5?
Yeah, you don't know what to make of it.
She just narrows her eyes.
Does that mean you believe everything then with your low insight?
I just am generally trusting, yeah.
And you have a magical horse that appears on occasion. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so we know who we're looking for. We don't know where necessarily. Where were you going to try? Oh, actually, yeah. Why? Where were you going to look for the merchant?
No, I've already looked. I was heading back to the rat for the night.
Oh, okay.
But I walk a full 2 city blocks around the rat every day, and I haven't seen him yet.
Why does this person move around so much?
I don't know. Probably because, like you said, he's shady, right?
Sure. Before we let this guy go, can we get a nice, good a description of the map from him before we go as we can? You know, for out of character for locate object purposes.
Sure. Yeah. All right. So he describes the map as, like he said, it's of that ruined wilderness. Of particular note is that it shows a location of a lizard folk village on the shores of the lake, and of what is believed to be the lair of a young dragon somewhere in the middle of the scar.
Okay. Should we let him go on his way now?
Where am I gonna go? And he staggers off.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, we have a lead,
Check at
I
the
guess.
Merchants Guild.
Mm-hmm. Did you say you want to head to the Merchants Guild? All right.
I also have locate object, so I guess I'll just cast it with the map as the target, and it lasts for 10 minutes. So I'll just walk around with it like radar as we're walking, basically.
Nice.
Let me cast it.
Yeah, all right. So you are able to pinpoint the map's location, and it is about 500 feet further west, so further into the city from your current position.
Is that within the 2-block radius that this guy covered?
It is not. Oh, we just lost.
No.
He's back.
And
Kind of back.
Okay, I'll let everyone. I think I know where the map is. It's over that way, pointing to the west.
Right.
Follow me.
All right, Zephyr, you follow the direction indicated by your spell, and it leads you to an underpass. So there's like a bridge at one point that connects two parts of the city, and it leads you under there. And you see a tiefling matching the description that was given to you, who's down there. And you see him, looks like he's messing around with a couple of backpacks or a couple of bags of stuff, and he's pulling stuff in and out and that sort of thing. And then he suddenly perks up and looks over his shoulder and sees you approaching, or at least looking in on him. And so he quickly closes up the backpacks and he stands up. He's like, What do you want?
someone's touchy.
This is definitely shady.
Textbook shady.
I'm gonna get a good lesson on what shady is.
I know. It's like
just
the
here.
whole spectrum of shady.
So we hear that you can actually provide some interesting materials for a price.
Oh, you're buyers, huh? All right, yeah. I mean, what are you looking for? I can probably get it for you. If not, I know someone who can. That's for sure.
I look over to Squall.
Looking for a map of the Squall.
Really? Now,
Really?
why would you seek me out looking for something like that? You should probably check the Cartographers Guild, right?
Well,
I'm to understand
Okay.
that their copy is missing.
I would imagine that'd be worth quite a bit of coin if it were to turn up.
To the right person, I suppose.
How much coin are we talking?
Oh, well, I mean, if it is missing, and if I were able to find it, which would be pretty difficult, this is a big city.
I look at Zephyr and say in Primordial, does he have it?
I nod.
He's like,
Like,
we're probably
with
talking... Oh, go ahead.
With my locator, I can basically figure out that it's a yeah.
Yeah, it's in one of his bags. Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, if you're talking a price, he's like, we're looking at 800 gold at least. That'd be a steal.
I fucking hate this place.
You said there was someone else with him, or did I mishear that?
No, just him.
Oh, it's just him. Okay. No witnesses. Just kidding.
He's keeping his distance. He's still a distance away. Like he's still, like 50 feet-ish away. So
I'm waiting for Squall to pull out one of Leaf's axes.
How far away is he?
50 feet.
50 feet. That sounds like a very reasonable price for the map.
It does?
does it though?
I double elbow these two.
You know nothing about actually bargaining for prices, do you?
He's like, well, I'm glad we agree. He's like, so you're saying that if I could find such a thing, you'd be willing to pay 800 gold?
Yes.
Oh, great.
In fact, we could probably pay more if you happen to be able to find it very quickly.
Oh, how quickly we talking?
Like, hypothetically, if you had it on your
We're
person.
leaving the city tomorrow evening.
Tomorrow? Okay. You
Tomorrow
need it by
evening or
tomorrow
morning?
evening. You need it tomorrow morning. Well,
Yeah, we need to get out in the daytime.
okay.
Surely
He's like, I'll tell you what.
Could find it that easily, right?
I'm sure. He's like, I'll tell you what though, this is hard. He's like, this is going to take a lot of work. So you give me 300 up front. Just to make sure, for my services, because I got to do some work finding this thing. And then tomorrow morning, if I got it, I'll bring it to you, and then you pay me the other 500 then. Plus whatever else you feel inclined to, since apparently you've got gold to spend.
And I wish I actually had some muscles.
Why? What are you going to do?
Okay, that sounds like a deal. Let's shake on it.
I'm going to roll an insight check for him.
Definitely.
It's like takes that phone out his coin purse.
He's like, this is easy.
I mean, do you want me to propose that, Squall?
I mean, I proposed it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just wondering if you want someone to roll for it. But
Squall, either give me your choice, deception or performance. And then I'll use your roll as the DC for his insight. All right. Are you going to use one of the inspirations? Okay. So he has this moment where he considers Squall, and he's like, yeah, all right, you seem to be on the up and up. And he walks forward, and he holds his hand out.
Grab him.
Whoa, hey, wow! Give me an athletics check, Squall. Okay. Yeah. You grapple him. And he's struggling.
did he leave his bags back where they were?
No, he's still got him. He's got him on him.
Okay.
He puts away his coin purse, now realizing what's going on.
Where are we doing this?
Under the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
but like,
it's like
are there people around? Like, is this like? I am weirdly uncomfortable with this.
If enough noise is made, you'd be heard for sure. But there's nobody like in direct eyesight.
Okay.
Zephyr, just grab it, please. And let's get going.
Okay, I'll reach out, be like, sorry. Switching to the back, trying to find it.
He's like, hey, hang on. That's my livelihood back there. That's what are you doing? What? And you're digging through.
You wouldn't want me to alert the authorities of you getting with all of this stolen contraband.
Stolen? I paid for it.
You knew where it came from.
Well, I mean, what are you talking about? What do you mean where it came from? What are you saying?
Are you in the habit of purchasing materials from the various guilds?
I'm in the habit of not asking questions, all right?
Well, then that's your problem.
When you come across something that's obviously someone else's property, I think it's pretty clear.
Zephyr, you're able to find the indicated map.
Okay.
You really should ask more questions.
He's like, the only
Anyways.
question I'm interested in is how much?
How much for what?
For whatever I'm buying. As in, like...
What's
No. That's the question I ask when people have something they want to get rid of.
what was the name of the Dragonborn again?
My Aldries.
My Aldries. How much did
Bring him up! Don't bring him up! Don't bring him up!
Don't bring
nudge,
Okay,
nudge.
okay.
No.
How much was this purchased for?
He's like, oh, it was given to me to cover a debt. I
How much?
gave him something for the effort.
How much was the debt?
Well, why does that matter? Unless you're gonna offer to give me some gold to fill the hole that you're creating in my income now.
If I have the capacity to do so, I am willing to.
What?
Oh.
No.
And he narrows his eyes and considers Celsia, and he looks at her armor.
He said that it's his livelihood. I'm not in the habit of taking away people's livelihood. But in the future, I recommend you look into where your goods come from.
He's like, oh, I swear.
I told him to ask more questions, and now he's asking questions. Maybe
He's like, I on my honor, I guess, on my mother's honor, I swear I'll ask more questions.
I'm insighting there.
Did you get 20? Oh yeah, you don't believe him. He's like, but I mean, if you're willing to compensate, I think 500 gold should cover it.
On the open sea.
Well, you can do whatever you want as far as I'm concerned. We're not there.
Tell you what, I don't have 500 gold. However, what I do have is a strong sword arm and...
Celsia, no. This vermin knew
Hey!
stolen.
I had no idea.
You had complete knowledge.
You came and told me it was stolen.
Even if you're there, you didn't really prove anything the way.
It's
Yeah,
not
this
hard
is
to
between
track
the
down an
guilds, isn't
item. Yeah.
So, how did you think that, your source got it if they were so desperate for cash that they had to pay off you and your guild?
I mean, again, until you all came along and showed me the error of my ways, I just didn't care.
So, which are you, an idiot or an asshole?
Whatever gets me out of this situation.
Asshole.
Okay.
He's like, anyway, you don't have the 500 gold, but you had something else for me? You were going to give me your sword?
No.
I'm not going to give you my sword.
You were going to go slink back to whatever hole you crawled out of.
Celsia
well-
looks slightly uncomfortable, but she's not willing to... She gives him...
Look, this is a matter between the guilds. I don't want to get in between it, but this obviously goes back to the Cartographers Guild.
I think
all.
I'm just trying to resolve this as peacefully as possible. If you...
Exactly.
I don't want you to go after whoever you purchased this from. I don't want you to go after whoever you purchased this from for some kind of... So for some reason because you need the money. I don't want you to go after any of the guilds because you need the money. I want you to go on living your life, but don't hurt anyone.
Let's call it a stupidity tax that you got caught buying stolen goods. How about that?
I give him... I rummage through my coin purse and I give him the platinum equivalent of 100 gold.
What?
He accepts it, and
Never mind.
This is all you're gonna get from me.
his eyes go wide for a second, and then he's like, well, I guess this will kind of cover some of the damage, I guess.
Him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And we are under a bridge.
Yep.
I yeet him into the river.
Squall!
Roll me another athletics check.
Roll for yeet.
He was a map dealer, right?
No, he was a dealer. He happened to have a map.
It's more of a shove and a stumble, but he falls into the water. And then he gets up sputtering, and he's clutching the platinum in his hand that Celsia gave him. And he gets over to the other side and crawls out. He's like, oh, He's like, you guys better watch out, because if when I'm with my friends, he's like, I'm going to remember you all, and we're going to... What's that?
Have we still got his bag?
No, he would have him on him. You didn't say that you wanted to try and keep the bag.
Take the bag.
I was just reaching in.
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
to get the
Look, this isn't personal. Like I said, this is a matter between the guilds. Barnabas hired us, so your beef is with him.
You've gotten more than you probably should have in this arrangement.
Pockets the platinum. And he looks around and shakes some of the water off, and he's like, fine, whatever. He's like, just know that as long as you're staying in Highfell, you better watch your back.
For what?
For someone who might come and hurt it.
Oh, is that going to be you? Would that be you?
We'll see, I guess.
Will we?
It's not too hard for us to just let Barnabas know who stole it, too.
He knew who stole it.
Then who would have to watch their back?
He's like, I didn't steal anything. And he turns around.
My insight check is if he actually has any friends.
You get the sense that this is all for show.
Okay, yeah.
He thought he may have made 6 new ones, but then the conversation took a different turn.
Yeah, then you just mugged him.
Yeah.
Mugged him and then paid him, apparently.
That's true, yeah. We're going to buy this from you.
Mugging now.
Wait, we could have used that money to buy an airship. Part of an airship.
Part
a
of
seat
it, yeah.
on an airship.
All right.
Airship, Justin. How much could it cost?
I was simply trying to resolve the incident without any further harm done to anyone.
He wasn't.
I understand.
So it's a restorative effort.
I understand. He obviously knew what he was getting into. But I understand you not wanting to hurt him. I didn't want to hurt him either.
Justice isn't always about
I didn't say
punishment.
I didn't want him.
Sometimes it's about just making things right for everyone.
Getting the myth back is justice?
I'm gonna head
The Cartographers Guild will be happy because we have retrieved their map. Myaldres is happy because he no longer has his debt. His debt is paid. And now, I mean, he's lost something, but he's effectively sold his map for 100. That's better than nothing. None of the parties have been tremendously wronged. Only a little wronged. About as least wronged as we can get, given the circumstances.
I'm gonna head up to the Cartographers Guild.
Yeah, maybe they're still open.
All right. You head back to the Cartographers Guild. And Barnaby is closing things up, but then he sees you approach and he's like, oh, well, I trust that you have what you were looking for.
Yep.
Oh, did we make a copy of it?
The copy? We don't really. This isn't the map we're after. This is the map that they're after. Yeah,
Correct.
so we need to make a copy.
But we could look at it without paying the $200 Bitcoin fee.
This is prime material.
And he's like, all right, great. Let's see it.
Show him the map.
Okay. He takes it and he opens it up. And he's like, wow. He's like, and I trust that that Myaldres got the message. He won't be doing anything like this anytime soon.
He got the message.
I give him his cartographer's badge.
Oh, and he's like, well. He's like, great.
Wait, did you give him Myaldres' cartographer? Whose badge did you give him?
Yeah.
Wait,
Myaldres.
Where did you get that?
Don't ask any questions.
And he's like, wow. He's like, I can only imagine that he didn't give you this willingly, so thank you. All right. He's like, well,
We didn't hurt you, though.
oh no, of course not. Of course not. Of course you didn't hurt him. That'd be preposterous.
Because we're not shady.
Right. You're not.
We haven't met.
I saw that wink, that internal wink.
I step forward and say, we haven't met. And I reach out my arm and I said, my name is Celsia Luminaire Rose. I've heard a lot about you, sir.
I wish I could say the same for you, Miss Rose. Barnaby.
Perhaps,
Shake man.
perhaps if you... Sorry, hold on one second.
It's all right.
You will hear more of my name in the future, I am sure.
He's like, oh, were I so fortunate. Now, the map that you are seeking. He's like I said, there were a few possibilities. He's like, I've looked into it since you left. You're quite quicker in your work than I expected, so I didn't have as much time to verify. But he turns around and pulls out 3 big pieces of parchment and he unrolls them. And Squall, you know that these all depict different parts of the floating sea on the realm of Evanon. So I'm going to move us to the actual world map for this.
World map.
World map. Can I also roll something to know what this depicts, even though I've spent my entire life on Corwin?
I'll take a history check, but you're going to make it with disadvantage, yeah.
Okay, I do have like a formal education.
That's true.
Not a very good one, but, you know, failed on my test. 5? Oh, that sure looks like the ocean.
You know, yeah, you can tell that it's Evanon, but beyond that, you can't really tell much.
Okay.
So he points to the different maps and then the one that you have, Squall. And he's kind of drawing some similarities between them. And he's like, well, this says, you know, this one says the Moon Moth Atoll, and that could be referencing this particular section. And this says the city that follows. And I think that might be a ruin over here. He's like, but what it comes down to is I don't believe that your map is a map. I think it's a key. I think it's a reference point for other charts. And he particularly highlights these 3 areas. And let me open up your map. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, so he points to the western one. And he's like, I believe that, he's like, this says Lullaby City. He's like, there's a ruin about off in this area, off the shore of this large island here. He's like, and there's rumors about sailors falling asleep when they sail too close to it. He's like, I think that might be something there. He's like, and that makes sense because here, and he points to the southern hex that I've highlighted. He's like, here, Blood Fens. He's like, there's an island in this area where it's all swampy marshland. And then there's rumors about some large beast that is just absolutely ravenous and makes its lair in that area. He's like, and then finally, and he points to the northern one. He's like, that one says Mount of Stars. He's like, there is a mountain, a singular mountain island in that particular region. It's more of a hill, really. He's like, but I remember hearing that there were ruins associated with the stars from the Amkagor Empire on that island. He's like, so I think that your map, it's depicting a landmass, but these points are all on separate islands. So that's what threw me at first.
We don't have access to Squall's map in Roll20, right?
Yeah, it's Captain Ogden's map.
Yes, you do.
Captain Ogden's map. Okay. Cool.
Did anybody follow anything that he just said? Because that was over my head.
Yep.
Okay, good.
All I know is part of this map that says Pleasure Crab, and I'm just fucking dying.
And on that note, that's where we'll take our break for the night. When we return in about 15, 20 minutes, we will reconvene on the Pleasure Crab. So sit tight. Hello and welcome back. Thanks so much for sitting tight during our break. And as promised, we're returning to the Pleasure Crab. So what are you all doing at the Pleasure Crab?
What is it?
I'm just... All right. So you've gotten your information from Barnaby in the Cartographers Guild. It is the evening. What are you all doing from here?
Let's go back to the inn. Get stabbed in our sleep by the merchant we just ran.
All right. So you guys head back to the Lamb, where Aerashka and Celsia have gotten you rooms for the evening. All right. So yeah, you can go ahead and treat it as a long rest. The night passes without incident. The beds in the inn are...
Wait, how many rooms do we have?
You
So
probably
I
have...
for everyone, but I don't know if I got rooms for everyone.
Right. No, it wouldn't be... It wouldn't be individual rooms. You'd probably have, like, 3 rooms. 2 people each.
Okay. So, who's in a room with me?
That's a
Aerashka.
well question.
I'm just curious. Okay.
Tig just stands in a corner in whatever room he's in and just sits down.
Just powers down.
That's what Warforged do.
So fun.
Mentioning Baymax.
All right. Long rest.
All right. The following morning, what are you all doing?
What are we doing? So,
We get a Souls Watch, I think.
like,
Unless,
meet everyone for breakfast. I assume they have some variety of breakfast in this place, right?
The Lamb would be serving for breakfast.
Lamb.
Lamb? No.
like frog legs, right? Yeah.
For breakfast, they have... it's the same stuff they have all the time, because that's all I have on my menu here. Potato and leek stew.
Oh.
And dried fruit.
Oh.
I go somewhere else for breakfast.
Sir, I think there's a problem. We had this yesterday.
What are you talking about?
Actually, no. Can I go into and use the kitchen? Will they let me use their kitchen to cook?
You make a convincing argument and roll for persuasion, and maybe.
I want to use the kitchen to cook. I don't know what the
More boat pancakes.
Do you need me to tell them that you are a famous chef and you would like to prepare some meals?
No, just I'll make my own food. I don't know. All right, sorry. Getting back to character sheet. Persuasion. There.
All right, for 2 silver, you can use my kitchen.
So you prefer to pay me to eat your food?
No,
So the alternative arrangement then.
you pay me to use my
I
equipment.
already paid it. It's included. I want to make my own food.
I don't know where you normally stay, but using the kitchen is not normally included in a room.
Irynyx, do you intend to make food for all of us?
No, it's alright.
Meanwhile, Aerashka is just, yeah.
Okay.
Aerashka is like downing the fruit.
I would be happy to pay.
It's not about money.
I want
I'll have
to
some stew.
your home cooking. It's been a while since I've had a good meal, please.
All right.
Yes. I'm not used to like road meals because of my upbringing. So I'm like, please cook me a good meal. I'm sick of like porridge and fucking like dried fruit and dried meat.
I'm sick of like mushrooms and weird meats and
Yeah, exactly. Rations. So yeah, I pay the man 2 silver.
Okay. He steps aside and motions for Irynyx to head back.
All I don't know. What are the what's in the kitchen available already? I guess. No, I'll do a kind of a latke hash brown. They've already got the potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with that. Quick sour cream. I don't know. I guess Irynyx is just gonna make hash browns.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Irynyx is frying that up, and one of the other patrons is sitting there putting some dried fruit in his mouth, and he smells it. And he's like, "Hey, can I have some of that?"
I guess since I'm already using the ingredients here, sure. Yeah, 2 silver.
Like,
Silver.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
This is how Irynyx never left Highfell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This just
never gonna be able to-
becomes a restaurant simulator.
Yeah.
Just Hell's Kitchen.
And the guy watches that transaction take place, and he's like, okay, just finish up and be done, all right?"
I agree. Yeah. Go ahead and do that then.
All right. Okay, so you have Irynyx's hash browns.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing from there?
I'm assuming we leave. I would be curious to see like what prices are on some of these airships, since we're at a airship area.
Mm-hmm.
To like buy one wholesale?
Yeah, and like to rent and all that sort of anything that's. I am just curious, I guess.
Sure.
Mhm.
I think we discussed it before, but hold on while I pull up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did you say
Amounts
like
of
10,000?
So a sailing ship is 10,000. A
Mhm.
warship is 25,000. So I would say like the sailing or the airship version of a sailing ship would probably be 20,000
Okay,
to buy one. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and then 30,000 for an air warship. Is that what you're saying?
I would say that'd be closer to like 45.
Yeah. All right. Saving up.
What?
One day.
But I think what I know I had said it now I can't remember. What did I say was the like to purchase transit? It was like a gold to go from one of the white cities or white settlements on the map to another. I think I had said it was a gold per person for transit.
Yeah, it might be nice to head over to Steel Cliff once we're done here.
Well, are we done here? What else is there to do in Highfell?
Well, nothing, but we're heading to Valberg. At least to the best of my knowledge.
That was the original plan.
That's the plan. But since we're here, if there's anything else that anyone needs to do, this is probably the most civilization we're going to have in a while.
I'm going to buy a bunch of rations
Yeah,
to,
same.
make up for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
Wogs again.
Sure.
All right.
My rations are still at break even.
Mm-hmm.
And this being a city as well, if anybody did want to take downtime, if that's something you wanted to do, we could do that. That would be 5 days.
I don't know if we want to spend that long in here, but if there's any, like I, for example, now have a second shield. I'll probably sell the first one.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So how much can I get for that? It's worth 10 gold.
I would say 5 gold, unless you want to give me a persuasion check.
No, I'll sell it for 5.
Okay.
And then, is there anything else that I need? I guess I think we should all stock up on rations.
Yep, Tig already did.
Okay, I'm gonna buy some rations as well. How much? They're 1.5 gold. Is that right? According to this.
Player's handbook. Adventuring gear. Rations. Where are they? Holy cow, there's a lot of gear on here. One day's worth of rations is 5 silver.
Five silver. Oh, okay, because
Mhm.
I have 3. That's why it's worth 1.5. Okay, so I'll buy another week's worth of rations.
Sure.
I think the only thing I'll do, I don't want to spend like too much time on this, but just like seeing. I want to further my research into the Amka gore if possible. So seeing if there's like a bookstore where I could search for any books about it or a library, anything like that.
Sure. Yeah, all right. I would say that with since you're not spending a downtime action to do research, you'd basically have to like purchase a book and bring it with you.
Yeah.
So an Amka Gore book that'd probably run like 5 gold.
Okay, I'll pay it.
Seeing all of our funds for our skyship just going down.
Well, we do know where there might be a big stash of money.
The Cartographers Guild?
It would sit to the end of your.
No, there's a lair of a dragon in the middle of the scar.
Oh.
Do we know that?
Yep, that's what the map was. There's a lizard folk village on the shores of the lake.
Uh,
and a dragon's lair in the scar.
This is true.
Hey, while we're talking about maps, I have a question. Squall, what's the deal with the map?
I need to find out where it points to.
Why?
Why?
Because I do.
Squall, if we're going to be traveling companions, we need to be open and honest with each other. Which is why I totally told you guys about my true identity immediately after we met, and no sooner. Later.
This history alarm is going off. 1 second. No,
I want to help
have the
you.
map. I inherited the map, and I would like to know where it goes and what is at the end of it.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Why all the mystery?
What mystery?
You seem very elusive about it at times.
Yeah.
Then again, you're elusive about everything, so never mind.
What do you think it has? Treasure?
I hope it's treasure. But being as he said it was a key and not really like an actual map, then and it would probably need more reference points, then maybe it isn't.
Who'd you inherit it from?
A friend.
What's their name?
Ogden. Oh, wait, let me just double check.
Let me look through my diary.
No, Langwood Ogden.
Ah.
Interesting.
Wait, did you just say Langdon?
Langwood.
Okay.
Why? What's Langdon?
Oh, no, just what those horrible books.
Oh, Dan Brown.
Dan Brown, thank you. Yes.
No.
And Professor of Symbology. Yes, exactly. Anyways.
We need to get to Ballberg at some point.
Yes, let's go.
All right. So you all head out of the city of Highfell, and you head along the road. Pace is pretty good. The road is much easier travel than even over the open hills that you've taken from the temple to Eklim to Highfell. The wind... Yeah, the boat's still back there, yeah, presumably. The wind is still incredibly high. Sorry, Dave. But the first day of travel, you get along that path that's marked with red there. And then you, right, yeah, there's pinging there. Someone knows what's up. At about the end of the first day, so right about there, it's twilight. And on the road, you see, you haven't passed many other travelers on the road, but you get to a point where you see, like wheel ruts, almost like, obviously like a wagon was being pulled through here, but like they veer off the road towards the north side, kind of towards the trees. And you also see a lot of other tracks and stuff kind of messing up the road in and around. Like there was some sort of activity that happened around here at some point.
What happened here?
Should probably find out, or we'll be the next person to be ambushed.
Do I roll persuasion? I do roll persuasion.
Irynyx, you see bits of wood, like pieces of wagon, kind of scattered about. You see some splatters of blood, and you see, most notably, a pair of footprints that are larger than humanoid. They appear to be clawed, and you get the sense that they move about bipedal, but every so often there's another set of prints in front of them, which they lead you to believe that this, whatever made these prints, occasionally drops down on all fours. But it appears to have, you get the sense that it attacked this wagon and then dragged everything north off the road.
Tracks appear to lead north.
What do you think it is? I mean, what happened?
Some sort of creature pulled the wagon and dragged its prey further into the woods.
Can we tell how long ago this happened?
Anyway,
I would say you get the sense that it was within a day.
Then they could still be in trouble.
Yeah, they could.
The nature check, what was that for?
Identifying the track specifically, I guess.
Oh, sure.
Thinking of creatures that alternated 4 legs or 2 legs.
That bit throws you off. You're not sure what this could be. And also the size of the claws on the prints. The claws seem bigger than you would expect for prints of that size. So you're not sure.
Okay.
Well,
We
let's go
should
check
see
this
if
out.
someone needs help. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I'll take a survival check from someone to follow the tracks.
It's like, I immediately take the lead, and then I'm immediately like, wait, where are the tracks? Like, survival.
All right, Squall, you're able to follow them pretty easily. Turns out dragging a wagon through the wilderness leaves a pretty easy trail to follow. And Aerashka is apparently shouting after you with an 8 stealth. So you follow it north, and it kind of goes down a little hill into a small wooded valley. And you can hear the sounds of something eating. You hear bones snapping. Some sort of carnivorous creature chewing.
Unless someone holds me back, like out of character, if someone wants to approach stealthily, grab me. Otherwise, Celsia will book it.
Like forward or backward?
No, like towards the sound.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we should probably scout this out before we just run into it.
But someone could be in trouble.
We would hear screaming if that was the case.
Not necessarily.
True.
Currently, we do have the element of surprise.
We don't know what it is.
So did the creature.
Or we'll be surprised.
So we don't hear any. Like I strain my ears. Do I hear any sounds of people?
Give me a perception check,
Okay.
please.
Here we go. -1. 15.
You do not.
Okay. You're right. I don't hear anyone in pain. So either we're too early or we're too late.
Well, either way, let's find out.
Someone want to scout?
I will have a go. Why not?
All right.
I'll give you invisibility for that.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Nice.
Are we in the woods or something? I think you mentioned a valley.
You're about to head into the woods.
Into the woods.
Mhm.
Well, if he's invisible, then I will not try and follow.
Okay.
Let us know what you find.
All right. Squall, I will take a stealth check with advantage.
Oh.
Okay. You head forward down into the wooded vale, and you see. You don't have dark vision, do you?
No.
Okay. You do see the wreckage of the wagon. It's a small wagon. And you see a large creature hulking over what you can only presume to be the bodies of whoever inhabited or were using this wagon. The creature appears to be bipedal. It has small legs, a large body, big broad shoulders, and every so often you see its hands. It has 3-fingered hands, and then it has a set of large claws that almost come off of its knuckles and ahead of its fingers, pretty good distance. But it doesn't seem to be using those claws when it's eating. Like, it's not using those to tear at whatever it's eating. It's only using its mouth. Its head is kind of round, oblong, like side to side sort of shape. So it's a wide head. And every so often it sits up and it kind of looks around. You've never seen anything like this before.
What the fuck? How far is it from everybody else?
From everybody else, it's probably a good 100 feet. And I'd say from you, you're probably half that distance. You're probably 50 feet away.
From the actual creature?
Correct.
And everyone's 100 feet away from me?
100 feet away from it, 50 away from you.
Right, okay. Is there
Does it look
cover
like
I
that?
could sneak up on them from? Like a direction?
I mean, it's in the middle of a pretty good wooded vale. So you think that if your party is stealthy, they could get within, 20 feet of this thing.
I really want to do some fuckery, but I don't know if I can pull it off.
Oh.
Define
Wait,
fuckery.
He's going to become an invisible horse. You don't get control over when you are invisible or invisible. I guess unless you attack.
I guess that's true. Or cast a spell. Yeah, okay. I'll just come back.
Okay.
What is it?
Well, I
What did you say?
have to punch someone to let them know I'm back.
Don't do it.
Say it.
Don't do
See
it.
what you do while you're invisible. And you can't spot.
The true test of someone's morals. What do you do while you're
Yes. Tell us who you touch while you're invisible.
God.
must be able to end this right early, surely to God.
You could just say, "Hey, Aerashka, I'm back," and then he can just.
That's true.
Unless you want to stay invisible for when we attempt to sneak up.
Aerashka's just like, good for you.
You can just talk.
Welcome back.
Yeah. I will stay invisible, and I will tell them where it is, and that they can, if they want to ambush it, they'd have to go from the woods and describe the direction. Because obviously,
And the creature?
I described the creature.
Okay. So it sounds like we're a little too late, but maybe we can make sure that this beast is no longer of danger to others.
Never too late for science.
And we should find out who these people were, even if they were past.
We don't know that they're past.
There might be a chance.
Perhaps this creature has a den or something.
One way or another, we have to find out.
Well, then
We're going to try to sneak up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just said, what are we waiting for?
Oh, okay. Let's go.
I'm not very good at sneaking.
Neither am I. I can try.
I suppose those of you that aren't good at stealth could
How
be
about
a
this?
distraction for those of us who are decent.
How about this? Yeah. You sneak up, get into position. We'll give you about a minute, and then we'll charge in, the rest of us.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. So who is going in and who is staying back for the charge?
I am not sneaking.
I'm team noisy.
Same.
Okay.
Sure.
Hashtag team noisy.
No, I'll do stealth, I guess.
Yeah, I will too.
Okay.
I'm curious as to what we find.
Those of you who are approaching stealthily, give me stealth checks, please.
Josh, you hashtag team noisy? Okay.
Hashtag team noisy.
Yeah.
I still got advantage on stealth, right? Because of the invis?
If you're still invisible, then yeah. I will get to you in a second.
Well, at least I'm not the most noisy.
All right, let's see what we got.
I live for superlatives.
Okay. All right, so let's put you all. So we've got Aerashka, Squall, and Irynyx on Team Sneak, and Tig, Celsia, Zephyr on Team Noise. All right, so Aerashka, Squall, and Irynyx. Squall, you're probably leading them to the point where you saw them, where you saw this thing. And just like before, you see it hunched over, chewing on something, ripping something apart. And as you're getting closer, let's see here. Squall, Irynyx. Aerashka, are you proficient in nature?
I am not. I've got a +4, but that's bard stuff.
Sure.
So.
Squall and Irynyx, as you're getting closer, you get the sense that a creature this size would have to have a pretty large lair relatively nearby. And the fact that it's eating kind of out in the open like this strikes you as a little weird, that it wouldn't take it to its lair. But you're pretty much just processing that information when it reacts, its head snaps up and it turns around and looks in your direction and it will spot Irynyx.
Oh no!
I'm shocked to my core.
Shocked. Not that shocked.
Meanwhile, like, cut to the rest of us, and I'm like, 23, 24, 25.
Is it doing anything? Sorry, I'm trying to get some item working, but yeah.
Oh, sure. It's going to charge, so we're going to go for initiative right there.
No.
I'll move us to another map. You guys will have to update your health totals because the last time we used this map, your healths were different. But I'll move us.
Does Team Noisy roll for initiative as well?
Everybody will. Yep. You're just starting further away.
Actually,
I apologize. I apologize for the white border around. I had to grab a token really quick, and I didn't have time to make it transparent. So.
I was really hoping this was going to be a Therizinosaurus, a carnivorous Therizinosaurus.
That's a giant sloth. When you described it, I thought it was a sloth. Yeah.
That thing's nasty.
Let's flip it so it's facing you. Well,
large, like 2x2.
It's a 2x2. Yep.
Okay. Can you give it a little box at its feet so we know exactly what spaces it's taking up?
Yeah.
I can do it. I can do it.
Okay, you do it. You go for it.
It's just a rectangle.
So it's like the right.
Oh, you can do a rectangle diamond shaped, can't you?
You have to draw the lines.
Yeah, freehand-it.
No, I can do it with polygons.
Nick, the magic mirror thing from the charm, is that a concentration, or was that the once per day thing?
You only get one you only get one copy. I'd say no, it's not concentration.
Well, I can't remember if it was or not.
I don't think I specified. I just think you can cast magic missile once.
Mirror.
Sorry, mirror.
Magic missile mirror image.
Okay. Magic mirror image missile.
Magic mirror image missile.
Okay, and I got to roll for this thing. Add turn. And realigning all my windows, and then there we go. Okay. All right. Well, no one is surprised. You all were pretty well aware that there was a threat nearby, but do we have everybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're missing someone.
Ian.
Irynyx.
I did not have my token. Oh, good. No, it looks like Ian's on there.
There you go.
What did you roll? You rolled a 4. Case.
Apparently, yeah, because I guess I didn't roll it. No, I wasn't sure if I had rolled it already. That's all.
Oh, I see.
And then we got talking about magic missile, and it was a whole thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Aerashka, you're up first.
Great. Let's see. It's within 60, so I will vicious mockery it.
Yeah. Whiz save.
Yes, 14.
Okay. All right.
So it has no eyes.
It does. They're just not in the art. But it has beady yellow eyes.
Unconventional artistic depiction in that case. Okay.
It failed the wisdom save.
Oh, take a little psychic damage. Disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay.
And I'm not intended for frontline fighting, so...
Why
Very
was
true.
the stealth team so much faster than the charge team?
Right. Right.
You're better able to see the situation and therefore react to what's about to happen.
So Aerashka backs up to there and says to her friends, still looking at their stopwatch, battle has started. And then
Battle has started.
We have commenced.
All right.
I will use a bardic inspiration. Oh, I need to figure out what I have, so I'll just do that first. We'll do the thing. Figuring out my tail. How? Cool.
All right. Squall.
So I'm still invisible, right?
You are.
Yes. I really wanted to do Fairy Fire, but I left you invisible instead.
I mean, you could have just done it, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my action... No, wait. What is... 1 second. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh, that's an action. God damn it. I'm going to use my action to dash back 60 feet.
All right.
Mhm.
No bonus action from you?
No.
Okay. Celsia.
Okay, so I leap down and I start running forward. So let's see. 5, 10, 15, 20, no, 20, 30? And I, unsheath my sword as I'm going, and I point it at the beast, and I yell, Light of Estrella, smite this evil foe! And a blast of light shoots out, and I cast Guiding Bolt.
Nice.
With a 9.
That misses,
Is 9
unfortunately.
weird? I guess-
9's great, but it's not high enough to hit, unfortunately.
You know what? We have 4 inspiration, right?
We do.
I'll spend
Yeah,
one.
3. Yeah.
I'll spend one.
Mhm.
Because this also gives advantage if I hit, so it feels like it's.
Yeah, it's a flywheel.
Good one.
Yeah. There it
Yeah.
is.
Pew, pew, pew.
Well, damn.
Unfortunately,
And then
you can't
come the
smite
four
with
I
that.
know I can't smite on a guiding bolt, can I? Okay, so there you go.
Your guiding bolt is so much better than all of mine have been.
This is only my third guiding bolt. So yeah,
All right.
28 damage, and the next
Nice.
person to attack gets advantage before the end of my next turn.
Right. It recoils from the guiding bolt, striking it. And you all get, you all get this flash, not so much of sound or thoughts, but more of emotion, injected into your minds of pain and rage.
Ah, what the fuck was that? Now that I'm a little closer, can I see what it was feasting upon?
Yes, you definitely see a humanoid corpse.
Ugh. Okay. That's it for me.
All right, Tig.
He is out of range even with a dash action. So I am going to ready and overrun.
Oh.
So once he steps into range, I am going to overrun. And as a bonus action, rage.
Nice.
Rage.
All right.
They just hit you with some psychic rage or some shit, so yeah.
I feel some kinship with this thing.
Yeah.
Tig's got rage at home.
All right, this thing is going to charge forward. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Can get to there, but that's not quite close enough, so it's going to move. It's going to take the dash action. Boop.
And that is within range for overrun.
Nice.
So let's see. Need to make a strength test contested. So it will get its strength athletics versus mine.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah,
It's
fine.
It succeeded.
Okay. So since it succeeded, let's see. Yeah, he's not going to take any damage, but he moves 5 feet back.
Okay. That being the case, he'll take a swipe at Tig instead.
Cool.
And it's actually going to be 3 attacks, 2 with its claws, 1 with its bite.
Can you move
First one at disadvantage.
face?
Thank you. What was that, Max?
Can you move its base? It's
There.
square. Okay.
That's where it's. Yeah, it's.
Oh,
it's.
okay.
Yep. Tig pushed it back, so it's only adjacent to Tig right
I
now.
see.
All right. So claws, bite. Well, the first one's a crit.
Ugh.
With the disadvantage?
Oh no. Okay. Thank you for that for the reminder. Let's see. Okay, so the first one's just a hit. Okay, I gotta get there.
I did something. I protected you from a crit.
I helped.
So 9 slashing from the first claw attack.
Okay.
And then the second one's a hit for another. Gosh, the fact that I gotta reopen or realign my windows every time I roll something. Okay. 14 slashing from the second one.
Ooh.
And then the bite. The bite misses.
Dude hits fairly hard. Not a big deal.
It certainly looks like it does.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that's
wasn't
its
that bad,
turn.
But
So Irynyx. Oh, I'm sorry. You also would have noticed, especially Tig and Irynyx, since you're right up next to it. It looks like some of its wounds are starting to close.
Oh, good. Good for it.
All right, Irynyx.
How was it?
Sorry.
It's all right.
All right. Well, since I freed up an infusion thing. Damn. Okay. 2 actions. A shitty item. Well, I pull out a jug, and it sounds like something's sizzling in it. So I am going to get up in the air, like above this thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have begun to brew some acid in an alchemy jug.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that is my action.
Okay. Give you a little wings.
Thanks. How can we do this? All right, so a little bit higher, but basically above it.
Right.
Whatever I could get up.
You could draw a line down to where the base is.
That's
that makes
true.
sense.
Mm.
I mean, is this rock out? Yeah. Anyways, I'm all done.
But you're like 20 feet above it or whatever.
Well, yeah. However far I could, if I just flew 30 feet straight up, then.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, if it's like 10 feet tall or whatever. But...
Yeah, it'd be about that.
Okay. Then, yeah, about 20 feet above it.
Okay. Zephyr.
Okay, I will move 40 feet to here. Right about there. And then, where were the bodies? Was it right around here?
Yeah, I'll mark those on there.
Okay. Because eventually Zephyr's gonna make her way over there. Okay, cool. But for this turn, I'm just gonna do old weapon plus toll combo. Let's start off with spiritual weapon.
You do have advantage on the attack.
Oh, do I? I didn't factor that in. So that's 15. I guess.
What's given it advantage?
Guiding bolt. Guiding
that
bolt.
was already used up, wasn't it?
No,
Isn't it
no
just
one's
one
attacked
attack?
it yet.
No one's
attacked it.
It just got rassled.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Josh did an overrun. Didn't
Yep,
attack.
Overrun is not an attack.
Right.
I mean,
I'm sorry,
uses
where are you
an
putting your
attack.
weapon, Ian?
Oh, Yeah, just where you have it is fine. That's fine. I'll just roll a d20 for the advantage.
Sure.
Nice.
19 plus
6.
6. Yeah, so 25.
25 will hit.
So 11 damage on that.
Okay.
And then I'll toll the dead. And cast. DC 14 wisdom save.
It failed.
Yeah, 5 more.
Right.
Necrotic. And that'll be it for me.
Okay. Round 2 with Aerashka.
Okie dokie. Well, I'm not sure where the invisible person went. But yeah, we're going to hit this guy with Fairy Fire now.
Okay.
Stokes, please wild shape while invisible and emerge as like a bear, and I still don't know where that Stokes can wild shape. Like,
Well, his invisibility drops right now, so.
But no one's looking at me.
That's true. No one's looking.
I'm not looking at
It failed its dex save, so it is enveloped in writhing purple flames.
Awesome. And then I will give Tig a bardic thing.
bardic thing.
Bardic inspiration.
Nice.
So that's a D6.
All right. Okay, Squall.
Okay, I'm going to use my action to turn into the warhorse from earlier.
I don't have a warhorse token, but yeah, all right.
And then I gallop up right behind Celsia and nudge her.
You hear a groan from behind you.
Lunaris, you're back. You've come to aid me.
Can she get on?
I didn't think you were gonna wild shape into that. I thought, yeah, can I guess on my turn probably.
Yeah, your turn's next. Yeah, I'd say it as part of your movement.
Okay. Well, if her turn is next, can we not fudge this so that we can charge the enemy?
Yeah, can we just
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Well,
we'll go with initiative 10.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, then
Sweet.
I'm gonna finish off the other 20 feet because I've got 60 feet of move, and I'm gonna hoof it.
Okay.
Right.
So now, according before we go any further, according to mounted combat rules,
Yeah.
Yes.
Squall is an uncontrolled mount, which means that Celsia is at Squall's mercy as far as where you will be placed.
Yeah, no, that yeah.
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 I'm just making sure. All right, yeah, go ahead and make your hoof attack.
I mean, I can try to think that I can control the mount, but I can't.
Right. Well, that's the thing is since Squall is an intelligent mount, I think it would be up to Squall whether or not the 20 hits. By the way.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Do it. Advantage.
Do I have advantage? Okay.
Fairy fire.
Well, no,
yes.
it didn't get attacked by the spiritual weapon.
No, from fairy fire.
Yeah, fairy.
Fairy fire gives advantage all the time.
Oh, so 12.
Yeah.
Right. So
Okay.
if I succeeded, the target, because I've got trample in charge, the target must make a DC 14 strength save or be knocked prone. If it's not prone, I get to make another attack as a bonus action.
Oh wow. It
You've already used your
succeeded its
bonus
strength
action,
save though.
Damn. Okay. So I rear up and hoof it, smash it with the hooves, and then as we come back to four-legged.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you rear up, and as you're rearing up and attacking with your, with your hooves, Celsia just lifts her sword into the air, light shining through the trees, and she says, "Back, foul beast! This is thundering retribution for your misdeeds!" And I swipe at it.
All right.
With advantage.
With advantage.
Okay, actions. Here we go. Advantage. 21.
21 hits.
Okay. 12 damage.
Nice.
And
it is bloodied.
all right. And does it make sense if am I able to shove while mounted? Like,
there's nothing saying you can't.
Yeah.
Right. So I will basically backhand its face with my shield. In the hopes that I can like double it over.
Nice.
So athletics. 17?
You succeed.
Knock that bastard prone.
All right, it falls prone.
Yeah, prone. Why not? Why not prone?
No reason.
So question. Okay, I think I know what Stokes is getting at. Does that still count for my sun shield if I knock them prone, or do I have to push them?
What is it? What does the ability say?
It just says shove 15 different creatures.
That's a shove.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dave is just sad that he can't get his bonus attack.
Oh,
No,
what's your bonus?
I would have had to knock it prone anyway to get the bonus attack. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's only
okay.
if I move 20 feet, but the moment has passed.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I run us off.
All right.
You actually used your bonus action to shift, didn't you?
No, it's full action. Oh! Shit, I cheated.
Oh, so you shouldn't have made the hoof attack.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not a
take
major.
the damage back.
How?
I will do that.
Dare you.
12.
I wanted to shift beforehand, but you guys made me come back early.
All right. Tig, you're up, and it is prone in front of you.
So I am going to circle around,
Mm.
and I am going to try to bring my Tetsubo down on its head. Okay.
Yeah, it didn't look injured before we started fighting it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
23 hits.
Okay. So 13 plus 2 plus... Okay, so 21 damage.
All right, now it is bloodied.
Part of that is radiant.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
Anything else?
Next, and.
Nope.
All right. Start of its turn, some of its wounds begin to close, but it remains bloodied.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to stand up. It's going to... let's see here. You're both pretty threatening. I think it's going to do claw.
All three of them are threatening.
You know what? It gets 3 attacks, and you're right,
Yeah.
there are 3 threats, so it's going to split up all the way. So we'll go claw against Celsia, claw against Squall, bite against Tig, and we'll go in that order. So Celsia first. It misses. Squall,
I'm AC 11.
it still misses.
What?
I rolled a 1.
I wanted to
It's a
intercept.
good monster.
And now it's going to bite at Tig.
Yeah, I was near its
Um,
head, and I did try to knock its teeth out.
Mm-hmm. But it misses on that as well. Holy crap.
Ooh.
No.
Legendary actions.
It doesn't have legendary actions, no. This is not a vampire.
Layer
Lair actions.
It's outside of its lair. We
Shut
caught
up.
it.
But it is going to flee. So Tig, Squall, and Celsia can all make attacks of opportunity.
Woof. All right.
The 19 hits.
11
Under
damage.
your advantage.
18.
Oh, jeez.
18 will hit as well. Yes, you all have advantage as well.
Oh, advantage. Okay, so the 18 or
Oh, so
Five.
close.
so close.
Either one of those.
All right. 7 damage on my end.
I did 11.
All right. Great. And Tig missed. Okay, and now it's going to flee. This direction.
But it's not as quick as me.
It lost half its movement standing up, too.
Oh yeah, so it's only going to get about that far.
Oh no.
All right. Irynyx.
Everyone keep clear. And then I'm going to take the top off of this jug that I have produced and pour out the 8 ounces of acid over
Uh-oh.
it.
Nice.
So I'm not throwing it as in it's just kind of like pouring a liquid out, I guess.
Let's treat it as a deck save then.
That sounds good. Yeah.
And we'll do we'll just do DC 15. What so go ahead and roll your damage because it's going to deal damage no matter what.
Let me check what the acid actually does.
I think it's 2d4, but I don't know for sure.
All right, so the thrown vial is 2d6 acid.
2d6, okay.
All right. So sorry.
It's fine.
There we go. Sorry, that did not turn up on Roll20. That was a Snake Eyes.
Oh!
Oh, no.
Yeah, shall pop up one beyond.
Let's hope it's enough.
And it succeeded its deck save, so it takes 1 acid damage.
Oh my god.
Sorry, kids.
That's fine. That's fine. This is my 2-round play. My once per day ability.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cool.
It's almost over.
That's true. You'll get it back.
Well, since that was my action, I'm just going to drop this damn thing and rev up something on the cannon. That's it.
All right. Zephyr.
Okay, let's start off with some movement. I'll move here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Over here. Can I do a quick snap judgment? Like which of these prone forms look like they might be more alive or potentially more alive?
You're trained in medicine. Yeah, even from that distance, you can tell there's no saving them.
They already look like red X's, Ian.
Yeah.
They're actually just red X's on the ground.
They're pretty much just red X's, yeah.
Okay, that changes things then. In that case, spiritual weapon will go over here and attack.
Okay.
Do spiritual weapon. Is this just a straight roll? Is there something giving advantage?
Advantage. It's in fairy fire advantage.
Right now. Okay. Cool. 24 to hit.
24 hits.
9 damage. Yeah, so we'll just do Toll the Dead then, since these people are toast.
How respectful.
I know, right?
My grave cleric.
That's the official term we use in my religion. Toast. Are you toasted or untoasted? Okay.
Very toasty.
Grave cleric does some moonlighting as a Subway sandwich engineer or whatever.
Sandwich artist, yeah. It succeeded its wisdom save.
Okay. I think that's all I got.
Okay. Aerashka, top of round 3.
Well, there's nothing too exciting here. I'm just gonna Vicious Mockery it.
Sure thing. It failed its wisdom save.
Max damage.
Nice.
Check it out. Yeah, and then I think I'm gonna retreat still. And Pig, how are you looking?
Fine.
You're not bloodied? Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not even close.
All right. It's hard for me to see you getting eaten over there. So that's me. I'm done.
Okay. Squall.
Okay, so because I've got 6 feet of move, I'm going to start moving in the opposite direction. Away from
the charge.
Yeah. Wait, what?
And then I turn and charge at the.
Sure.
Oh, I see. Why did it put me behind?
Yes, a crit!
Oh wow! There was literally like the red lasers like homing in on the thing as you're backing up.
I can't click on the hooves name to make it roll the dice, so I just got to roll the damage twice, right?
Yeah.
Or just
roll the die twice, but the bonus is only once.
Right.
Yeah,
You do 46 plus 4.
Right.
Oh, boo. 15.
15.
15 is still a lot.
15's good.
Yeah, that's respectable.
For your hooves, yeah, that's great. Yeah, all right.
And he's got to make
15.
a save or be knocked prone.
DC.
14.
Oh, he got it.
Damn.
All right, that your turn?
It's still up?
It's still up, yes.
Okay, so
Then
I
I might use the rest of the move to move away from it so Celsia can't hit. I'm kidding.
Yeah! What? How did you do that? So you don't have like reins or anything, so I'm like grabbing your mane as you rear up and attack.
Ow, 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 ow!
Yeah, right? Like, sorry. And then like I stand up and I want to basically leap onto it and drive my sword into it, fucking Link style.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
are you,
do the
wait,
sword?
wait. Are you trying a plunging attack?
Yes,
I-
it's a plunging attack.
You'd have to be on. No, this is.
You know what? In fact, Dave, I am trying a plunging attack.
You should
what-
run really fast and then stop and fling her.
Oh, yeah!
Try that next time.
No, but I am gonna do this.
Yeah.
Do you want me to make
Alright.
any kind of test besides my attack roll?
That's what I'm going to look up combat options and see what climbing on a monster is.
Oh, it's a grapple test.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's it?
it
Oh,
is.
okay. All right, let's do it then.
Okay. I will grapple. Oh,
fuck.
me.
Uh-oh. You still have 3 inspiration.
Yeah, what?
No, you know what?
Okay.
No. I go, I stand up and I say, by the light of Estrella, herald of the moons and the stars, Aklim and Thegris, watch me in my hour of need, and I jump and I just fucking eat it. Like I try to catch it with my blade, and it just like the angle is all wrong, and I kind of nick it, but like that's it, and then I just right on my flat on my face, right in front of it. So I'm like, I don't know what here.
Yeah, that works.
And then I stand up and I use my movement to stand up, and I go, ow, and that's my turn.
All right. All right, Tig.
I am going to run to cut off its escape, and with a just scream of frustration and rage, I'm going to kneecap this guy.
Do it.
There we go, 20.
20 hits.
Okay, so 9 plus 2 plus 4. Ugh.
15 total.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Still up. But this time, on its turn, it's going to... How smart is it? It's going to take the dash action, so you 3 can make opportunity attacks again.
Oh, this guy's toast. Does it still have fairy fire on it?
Yes,
Yep.
it does.
Oh, hell yeah.
Excuse me. All 3 of those hit.
Okay. So 14 from me.
Should I smite it?
What would Celsia do?
What would Celsia do?
Especially
Celsia?
after failing that athletics check.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out if Celsia is like, I would redouble my efforts, or if Celsia is like, I feel like shit now.
Can you do a smite on a attack of opportunity?
Doesn't say I can.
It's just
when
any
you
hit?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't used any spells yet. I'll do a divine smite.
Do it.
Yeah, it's when you hit with a melee weapon attack.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
So yeah, it's 9 extra damage.
Wow. All right, so 21, 26, 34 damage total. So it turns to dash away, and the three of you just clobber it and dogpile it and pummel it into the ground. It is dead.
I gallop off into the trees.
Lunaris, wow, what a strange creature. Wait, where's Squall? Can I make like an intelligence saving throw?
No!
You're sure. I mean, it's your. If you feel like you need to roll to come to that conclusion, then yeah, go ahead.
Well, because on the one hand, it's pretty fucking objectively obvious what's going on, but on the other hand,
no. I'm gonna misty step, like back here from the cover of the trees.
Okay.
Fuck you.
So I duck into the trees looking for where the mount went. I don't see any traces of it. It's like it's vanished from the ether. Well, no, Squall is right outside of Wild Shape.
Yeah.
Right? Are you still in Wild Shape?
No, I dropped the shift and Misty stepped over here.
So I go this way. I'm like, where did the horse go? And like you're coming up from behind me, and it's very clearly not the horse. So I'm like, oh, Squall, did you see that creature?
I think it went this way.
I know.
While you guys are doing that, I'm joining Zephyr.
Okay, Killjoy.
Yeah, first
How'd
thing
you know
I'm
her
gonna
name was
go
Joy?
check the bodies.
All right. So they're pretty difficult to identify. But you can tell that there was a human and a dwarf. But beyond that, there really isn't much else to tell.
And there's wreckage here too, then, from the...
Yeah, there's the wrecked wagon nearby as well. And I guess I was avoiding this just because of the gruesomeness of it, but there would be a horse body as well.
Oh.
I'm gonna check to see if they have any like documents on them, like letters. See if there's if we can find out who these people were.
That's what I'm also doing. I'm just going through everything.
Oh, sure.
Oh, is this our campsite now?
I'm building a pyre.
Not camp.
Oh, a pyre! I thought you just said fire.
Yeah.
I was like, are we gonna tom this thing out here in the woods?
God, no.
Zephyr and Aerashka, yeah, you two, you find that you would find identification, for lack of a better term, stuff that would lead you to believe that these two were low-ranking members of the Merchants Guild who actually traveled to nearby towns. They were actual merchants. And the fact that they were sent outside of the city of Highfell tells you that, from what you know about Highfell, like I said, they weren't high-ranking at all. Yeah.
Squall, you're knowledgeable about nature and beasts. What manner of creature is this thing?
I've never seen it before, have I, Nick?
Correct.
I have no idea.
It must not be natural, then. Well, now I know for sure that Lunaris is watching me. I feel confident that when I am in dire need, it will appear again. And
What's
I'll...
a Lunaris?
Lunar? My divine steed, of course.
Wait, you named it?
Did you not see?
Oh, I did. I thought. Oh, that's what that was.
He appears when I am in trouble and I am in need of assistance, and it is a noble beast, gifted to me by the gods themselves, perhaps. Oh wait, no, never mind. There's no pantheon in this system. Gifted to me by
That's right.
By the moons and stars. She's just talking out of her ass, like she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, but she's heard tales of like this kind of thing happening with paladins, so she's like really excited.
Sublight says that Celsia has an ocarina song for her.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Except I don't. That's part of the problem. But it's not like Celsia has a player's handbook that she can look up like how this works. So she just thinks that this is how it works. Like it just appears. So and then I'll walk over and observe the the bloodshed.
Mm-hmm.
And after a moment of solemn I don't know, just looking at what happened, she'll put a hand on Zephyr's shoulder. I hope they can find rest.
No, we're going to stuff them in a gem and use them to power the lay bridges.
What?
Not if I
That is what they do
say
here.
about it.
They would have Merchants Guild badges, right? Like,
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay. So we could
Can we tell?
get those.
Can we tell if there's more? Like, we don't know how many people were on that wagon, right?
That's true. You don't. Irynyx, what was that investigation check for?
I would have tried peering down its throat, I guess. It was just eating. But then, yeah, this is the classic monster autopsy part.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, creature components.
Okay.
Since it's in intelligence medicine, that's just fine because proficient in medicine and intelligence checks.
Okay.
So what's special about this thing?
Real quick to answer Aerashka's question in chat. The dwarf has a locket with the portrait of a female tiefling. And then other than that and the badges, that's about all that you can find as far as personal effects.
Yeah, well, or at least I'll grab those with the intention of bringing them back to Highfell, or not Highfell.
Yeah.
Highfell. Okay. To get them back to the Merchants Guild.
Right. And okay, and Irynyx, let me pull open my creature component stuff. You get a sense that again, much like with that last corpse that you came across in the river, not knowing what this is limits your ability to determine exactly what sort of effects you can get. But knowing what you know, you think that the heart would be useful because of the whole regenerative effects. And you also think that the brain would be useful, considering there was some sort of psychic thing that happened with it. So,
Yeah, what was with that?
Yeah, would I have any insight into that?
If you would are you saying like because of your background, or are you saying based off of just standing here and looking at it with Irynyx?
My background, for the most part.
No.
Okay.
Was that the? I'm sorry. So you had said medicine. So is this that was investigation?
This is that test.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Medicine is just this. Yeah. So this is the.
It's the exact same bonus, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And I'm checking the DC and harvesting multiple components. Okay, yeah. So you succeeded by 5 or more on your check. So you can harvest any 2 of the 4 things.
Pick the 2 useful ones then.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're all like blood and eyes and all that are all useful.
But you said particularly this one's brains and heart would be useful. Okay. How did we figure out that the troll heart could turn into armor?
That you just knew from what you knew of trolls. Like you rolled an invest or a medicine check or whatever for that.
Okay, specifically?
But
Okay.
we don't even know what this thing is.
Yeah.
Correct.
We don't know what it is. How did it actually react when the acid dropped on it? Because it did, take a single point of acid damage. Did it, inhibit the regeneration or not?
It did.
Okay. Well, that's
Interesting. That's something.
Yes, that is indeed something. All right. So what is this? Another roll then to figure out what to make with this thing.
I
What
look
did we
over
get
my
the last time
shoulder.
for the eel thing? We
Last
got
time you took the eyes. Yep.
Yeah. We have not taken time to really assemble any of this stuff other than
Correct.
a little bit of progress on the armor. But
Mhm.
anyways,
We're just going to end up making a golem out of all these parts.
well, I mean,
If we've got a scrag head, we can put the eyes in.
it's a snowman. Yeah.
You can give me an Arcana check to see if you can deduce what sort of item would be made from these.
And don't forget everyone's favorite. There we go.
Yeah, you're confident that you could use the heart in the same manner that you were using the troll heart.
Oh, so another armor of regeneration.
Mm-hmm. And as far as the brain goes, you think that you can turn it into a helmet or a cap of some sort.
I don't know what that looks like, but okay.
Well, it fits right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're like the people in the asylum in Bloodborne.
Exactly.
All right, I think this might prove useful. It's at some point.
Can I tell which direction it was coming from, or where its lair is?
It was heading this way, so
Yeah.
I would assume that would be a place of safety.
Yeah, if you want to give me I would say probably investigation to see if you're looking for additional tracks or anything like that.
Boo.
Isn't survival more tracking?
There you go.
Oh, get fucked!
Survival would be to follow known tracks.
Okay.
Squall, you don't see any other tracks from this thing other than coming from the road.
What did you tell us earlier, at the start of the fight, that this would not just rest in the open? So
It's unusual that it's not in its den.
Correct.
So perhaps it has a den, but its den is no longer safe for it.
Perhaps it's not from here.
Perhaps. In any event, I know we just left Highfell, but
No, it's coming on to the end of the day, right?
yeah.
No, Nick.
Oh no, we lost Nick.
Oh.
Oh no, we're live without a GM. What do you?
Everybody gains
and-
2 levels.
Yeah, everyone is now
Yes,
level
running the asylum
13.
now.
Oh, there's Nick.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay, great. No, it's the last thing I said was it's nightfall, and then my camera decided to disconnect itself.
Well, it's getting late, but camping near a place like this gives me the jitters.
do I have the pyre ready?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay. So yeah, I will ready the bodies and say a prayer.
Zephyr is actually going to stop you from doing that.
What's wrong?
Nick.
Neo retreats back into the bushes. I don't believe this is the way bodies should be treated.
I agree, but this is the best that we can do in our current situation.
What do you believe we should do, Zephyr?
For a long time, I wasn't sure exactly, but I think seeing what was done in those ruins we were in, I think those ancient people knew something that we didn't. I don't think we can create tombs like they did, but basically Zephyr's going to propose almost like a not quite a full burial, but like a cairn. Yeah.
Like a cairn, yeah. Okay. It'll take some time, but if someone hands me a shovel.
By the way, I imagine this is probably outlandish for everyone because this kind of practice doesn't exist in the world.
Yeah, burning the bodies is definitely the norm.
Right.
So it's up to you all how much you go along with this or not.
Is this the guidance that you've received?
I'm not sure how this is better, letting them rot in the ground and possibly being picked at by animals if they can dig.
Well, I think I might have a way, and in Zephyr's plan, I was going to ritual cast Gentle Repose on the bodies.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll go back to the road to my donkey and get a shovel.
Okay.
I forgot we had a donkey.
Yeah.
I did too.
I'll give us any strong feelings one way or the other, even though this is like strange to her.
As we walk back to the donkey, Squall is like, we never see the donkey and the horse in the same time.
I had not thought of it like that.
So yeah, I'll start shoveling.
Tig looks supremely uncomfortable with this. He is not okay with it, but he is not pushing back.
I would assume where I come from, it's not uncommon to bury.
Yeah,
You're already
Underdark
underground where you come from.
Exactly.
Yeah, you just leave them. No, yeah, it would be common in the Underdark to bury.
You do a burial pyre. Should I make a
Wait, that's
test
the
or not?
barbecue pit.
I mean, if you all are fine, like waiting the couple hours that it takes to dig, you don't need to make a test. That's fine.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just. Ugh, this is tiring work. No one's helping. Okay, it's just me. All right, cool.
While Celsia is digging, Squall is going to sit there and try and recreate the scar map.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, why don't you give me just a straight intelligence check
Fuck me.
to see how much you remember?
Case can help.
Yeah. Okay. So I am actually not cartographer, but what is it? The drawing stuff. I have painters
Calligraphy.
and calligraphy.
Calligraphy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, cartography is a specific tool. But yeah, I could
That's
aid
close.
in this once I've cleaned up. I guess if you're willing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So what? Just throw in intelligence.
Well, then I would say since we had Squall make the test and you're assisting, I would have Squall do it with advantage. So go ahead and roll
Yeah.
another
Sure.
one.
Oh, no.
Do you need a guidance?
Yes. Why weren't
So that was with the wait. He got 20 with the advantage.
No, he's rolling.
That was for the oh, fuck.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
But roll your guidance.
D4. Roll the D4.
No, I'm going to roll.
Yeah.
Can I roll?
Well-
Use the inspiration?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say I'm gonna give you guys an inspiration for the Zephyr Tig about the whole bear. Look, I like that interplay and that
Not
potential
for the
conflict.
horse shenanigans. Are you serious?
Horse has already happened.
Fuck off.
What are you at currently?
Go
You're at
with
3
your hands.
inspiration right now.
Yeah, we have 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you 1.
Okay. So I'll do it again. See if I can fuck up even more.
So it's still 3.
Fuck!
Oh my god!
Well, roll the D4 and we'll add it to the 9.
It's the
That's fine.
poison Benny.
It's
Someone click the D4.
Oh, me. Sorry.
it's fine. There you go. So 13.
That's not
You know that you got like the relation, like the directions and the relation correct. It's the scale you're not sure about.
Okay.
So I'll have a map for you next time we meet.
Sure.
For that. All right. So after a couple hours, you're able to take care of the bodies, and Squall's able to recreate the scar map to the best of his abilities. What are you all doing from there?
Zephyr, would you care to say a few words?
Sure. Okay, now I gotta pull a eulogy out of my ass. Zephyr will stand over and say, "We did not know you, but I know that Imik has guided you. Trust his guidance. Follow the path to the other side. Death is not the end. It's just the next step. And that will be it."
Well spoken. Place some stones.
All right. Well, we're late in the evening of your first day of travel. And you're currently at the same site where you fought the creature and buried the two. Is your plan to continue traveling through the night, or do you want to make camp? And if so, where would you like to do that?
I definitely don't want to camp here. Because, like, this creature, we don't know if this is the only one. There could be more, and, like, if that thing showed up in the middle of the night, like, that'd be bad. So, I'm almost inclined to press on. What, Souls Watch full day?
You have a day and change, yeah.
Okay. So I don't think we can reach Soul's Watch if we just press on through the night, but perhaps we could get to at least the tree line.
It's possible. I guess if everyone else is like burying and doing all that sort of stuff, maybe I'll scout the area just to see if there's anything else.
Yeah. The other thing we could do is we could make our way just a couple hours through the night to the river and camp there. So we'd be like here, basically.
Aerashka, why don't you give me investigation?
Yeah, 13.
Oh, you did? Okay. Do you stick around the area where you fought that thing, or do you, like, where all are you searching around?
So I would start my focus, like, in the direction that creature went. And I would go beyond that area. But otherwise, then just sort of do a loop, especially like where the, or I should say not especially, but after I look at that area, I would probably go to where the attack happened and see if there's a way to track it backwards.
From the road, you're saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, your search around this area confirms what Squall investigated earlier as well, where other than the tracks from where you guys saw it, from where it found its little place to eat, and from where you guys fought it, you don't see any other tracks from this thing anywhere other than just when it dragged everything from the road. Yeah. Excuse me. And when you head to the road and inspect there, you're able to see that its tracks come from the south, from the hills to the south.
Like from like somewhere in here, or from like all the way down here?
Well, he's not going all the way down there, so
right, obviously.
Yeah,
hey
so
guys, I found its lair. It's right here.
Right, well, you said the hills, and I wasn't sure if this was the hills.
So like that.
Okay.
Not even that long, you know what I mean? But yeah, from that direction.
Like went a few miles. Yeah. Okay.
I let people know that's what I found.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can decide what we are doing.
Do we want to learn more about what this creature was and try to track down where it came from, or do we just continue to Balberg?
I'm personally happy having dealt with this situation, but I'm fine also looking further into it.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Always.
Impossible.
Always.
What is Soul's Watch? Is it a town?
It's a town.
Okay. Because I didn't see it in the lore handout.
Correct. I don't have a handout for it yet.
Gotcha. It's possible that the people in Soul's Watch may know more about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, maybe we just did them a huge favor. Or maybe not. I don't know. I guess we should probably press on, but we should be wary to keep watch in the night.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's mark on the map weird maw creature or whatever. If we want to look into it on the way back or something.
Are we continuing to travel through the night, or are we just finding a place to camp and camping and then heading on to Soul's Watch in the morning?
Finding a place to camp is probably better.
Okay. Then I would propose that we head to the river.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay.
All right. Traveling through the night. It's not too bad until you get into the thick of the woods. And then it's pretty hard to see for most of you, just due to the darkness. But the rest of the night goes without incident, and you make it to the banks of the river safely.
All right. And set up camp, and we should probably have a pretty, I don't know, like 2 people at a time watch, because who knows if there's more of these things?
Sounds good.
Okay. So how about we do a close quarters scene? Since we're doing 2 for watch, and you guys are out on the
I
boat.
love that.
Let's do it.
So everybody roll a d6 for me.
If I get Ian one more time, though,
That's true. Yeah.
nah.
I was really hoping I was going to get it.
Oh wow! Look at
Ooh,
those
it
two
looks like-
exact pairs.
All doubles.
It's all doubles.
Oh yeah. Look at that. Well, you know who's with who.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you're setting up camp. I'll let you all decide who is like doing first. Well, I mean, it'll be the order of the scenes essentially. But yeah, you're setting up camp in the woods on the banks of the river. There's the normal sounds of evening in the wilderness like this. You hear frogs croaking and insects and that sort of thing. So,
Aerashka, would you care to take watch with me?
Sure.
We'll take first watch. So who's going to be second?
That's Barnaby. Douche.
oh, it is. He's not in camp with you, so I'll remove him.
Better not
Get out of
be.
here, Barnaby.
He's like, hurry up and set up that tent.
Oh my gosh! Just follows us everywhere.
Little do you know, he's actually a druid, and the donkey is Barnaby.
Who should we wake after our watch is done?
I'll take second watch.
Yeah, I was about to say Tig.
Okay. So Tig and Irynyx, and then Zephyr and Squall.
Mhm.
Okay. So after, unless you have something that you want to do, Justin, I'll like set the scene real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so like we have a somewhat small campfire, trying not to draw too much attention, but just enough warmth. And over the crackling of the fire, Celsia just kind of like leans in and says, "Aerashka, I've heard you speak several times about your family. I'm curious. What was it like growing up down there?"
It is harsh down there. Being up here seems a lot easier. You can walk around, you can actually camp outside. We don't have that luxury. where we are. So it's very dangerous, and there's very little to go around.
There must be a lot of pressure.
It's why we're here. We're trying to get more funds, better trade, so that way we can. Yeah.
Do I have you said out loud, like around Celsia, that you're like essentially like a leader, or that your family is leadership, basically?
I haven't.
Okay.
She may have heard, because I know a lot of other people met my father, so it might have come up. I don't know if you want to.
No, I don't.
It's up to you, because I'm not trying to hide it.
I think what you'll say is you seemed, when I said my name, my real name, you seemed to recognize it. What's the deal with that?
Well, as part of political processes, it's good to know who the nobility is that we'll be dealing with.
I see. So, are you also, like... And she does this.
Aerashka laughs. It doesn't exactly work that way where we're from. It just so happens that my father is good at negotiations, and I get to come along sometimes. But yeah, my mother is a general. Like, well, I don't. You would call it a general, I guess. She just sort of leads the watch. But yeah, so those are my parents.
Even though the circumstances might not be great, I hope they were at least good to you.
They were. I'm very lucky to have the parents I do, and I understand that might not be the case with you. And I'm sorry to hear that.
It's not. I mean, it's a different sort of pressure with me. My father is my father, Peter. He looked down on anyone who brought any sort of dishonor to the name of the family. But my other father, Jude, he was very nice. He was always very sweet to me. Very joking and playful. And I don't know. It was interesting. I had some people in the estate who treated me well, and others who, well, not so much. But ultimately, the concerns of the Starling estate are nothing compared to what you had to go through. I don't have a lot of sway with my family, as you might expect. Certainly not as Violet. But if I ever get that kind of sway as Celsia, I promise I'll do whatever I can to help you and your family and your people.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Unfortunately, we find that a lot of people up here are completely ignorant of what happens down in the Underdark. And they have their other concerns up here. But in any case, thank you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to digress.
No.
I appreciate your sentiments. Thank you.
I hope one day, maybe, I can return back to my home and you could come with me.
Yeah, I would like to visit, especially, sorry, you said Peter and...
Jude.
Jude was the one who is nice to you?
Yes, Jude Starling ARDATHAS. He married into the family.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to meet this Jude. He sounds very nice.
He is, but you're more likely to meet with Peter. Peter is the one who does all of the, let's just say, family dealings. So, but I can prepare you for that. He's a bit much. And a lot of my siblings have inherited his muchness, shall we say.
I hear you.
And scene.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so Celsia and Aerashka then wake up Tig and Irynyx for the second shift.
Yep.
Case, you have any ideas, or if not, I have one.
We'll take the lead in that case.
Okay. So yeah, during second watch, Tig is kind of staring blankly out into the darkness outside of our camp. And at one point, with no prompting, no nothing, he just kind of looks over at Irynyx. You didn't seem to take a side in the burial versus pyre. Do you not believe, or
Believe in what? Do I believe in what?
in anything? Do you believe the teachings of the church, or in another god, or do you have any beliefs outside of what you do?
I believe in decency, in finality of purpose, of supporting those that you can. To my people, the divine engine is an engine first, not a divinity. We admire its efforts, but it is a component of the world. It is not the world itself. I lack familiarity with Zephyr's practices, and I was not personally affronted such that I had to intervene, even with their foreignness. That is how I can remain an observer. When you see these things which affront you, how do they do so? To what do you object? Besides the defiance of convention.
It's not a simple question.
I suppose not.
And I'm a little too simple to answer.
Using yourself to the surface. Answer this. What did you feel?
Anger. Because that's what I always feel. It's who I am. It's what I do. It's what I was created for.
Well, then you cannot reasonably attribute it to the young woman's practices, can you?
No.
I admit I'm unfamiliar with having to endure an immutable existence towards one living one's purpose. They're a little more permissive in Hardcourt.
I find that a lot of people don't understand their own purpose. And part of me is thankful that I was created with purpose and I know it. I don't have to stumble blindly through my life. I may not be happy with my purpose, but I don't have to search one out. And there's some freedom in that knowledge.
Freedom to remain miserable, by the sense of it.
I have ways of dealing with my misery. And the thing is, when I'm following my purpose, really the only time I'm happy. And that's not something that I am really comfortable with.
Do you call your purpose was an imposition on you? It is not what you chose.
I know. I'm not blaming myself. I'm not blaming anybody else. The Divine Engine had a need for what I do.
Do you have a need for it?
Well, I was created with that need. So it's not really a simple question again.
Give it some thought.
The Divine Engine, it had a need, and I fulfill that purpose. I don't feel that it did me a wrong or anything of that sort, because the Divine Engine has its will. And I need to find a way that I can be comfortable with what I was created to do. Because that's not anything that can change. But if I can find a way to cope with it, to find a way to focus that purpose, maybe, just maybe, I can feel less obligated. And then he pulls out the bottomless mug of mead, fills it up. Want some?
It's a bit early, my friend.
And then Tig goes back to watch.
All right. Okay. Zephyr and Squall.
So as we got the last watch, I think Squall would be sorting out his maps and updating anything that we've passed along the way and putting on that marker for where the Maw creature was. And but he lingers on the map that the Captain Ogden's map.
Mm-hmm.
And then after what Barnaby told us, would ask Zephyr directly, so how did you find out about this Umka Gore?
So as that's happening, Zephyr is supposed to be keeping watch, but you probably see she's more watching the companions, keeping an eye on them as they sleep. Probably not sure why. Well, I I actually hadn't heard anything about the Amkagor until I got that book from those people who had taken over the lay bridge. And when I was reading through the book, it was all about this Amkagor. And then everything just seems to keep pointing to them. And the vision that I had from Irynyx was of one of those ruins too. So it just feels like they're important somehow. Have you heard of them before?
No, but apparently, they've got a temple, and then he just like pokes this awkward finger at the amount of stars on the map, right there.
So again, they're showing up again somehow. I just wondering how much everything is connected. What exactly is this map supposed to lead to again? You said.
We was promised a treasure, but all we found was the map. So, I mean, people leave maps for a reason, and if Barnaby's right, this is a key. I don't know a key to what, but I kind of like to find out.
You said you were promised treasure. Promised by who?
Pirates. No. We were looking for a treasure. Me and Langdon, and a few others. And when we got to where the treasure was supposed to be, all we found was the map.
I see. How did you know to look in that spot originally?
There was another map.
So many maps.
I mean, Langdon was very cagey about where he got his information from sometimes, but he was adamant that it was there. So we believed him.
I'm just wondering
Langwood,
because...
not Langdon. This fucking Justin got me thinking Langdon.
No, it's going to be stuck as Langdon.
Robert Langdon.
Langwood.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because you say treasure, but a treasure can mean so many things. Just thinking back to my sisters and my family, each one of them would probably have a different idea of what the treasure at the end of the map would be and what they would want to see. So what are you hoping is there?
I don't know. I just want to see it. Just to be the first one to see it. Or the first one to see it in a while. That would be something.
I think I understand that. But it could be anything. I don't know if that Amkagor ruin on your map is just there by chance or...
But, I mean, we've come across 2 of these Amkagor places and it's just been full of dead things. Dead things that come back. And we don't bury the dead or put them in tombs so they don't come back. They go on to the engine. Are you sure it's wise for you to be burying the dead?
Well, I know what happens now is not very wise, the way these souls are imprisoned and held back from passing to where they could go. And I feel like I've been pointed to these ruins for a reason, and the dead have a lot to teach us. And when I saw the way they treated their dead, it just felt like what Irynyx has been trying to teach me about the ways we need to protect the dead on their way. And when you're talking about dead coming back, that's a twisting of everything that Immick wants. So we definitely don't want that to happen. But in my book, the way we imprison souls in these gems
is this a literal book? Or is this like just like Immick's teachers now? I know you've got a couple of books now.
Not a literal book. Maybe one day if I have time to sit down and write what I've been taught. Okay. But I feel like the way these souls are imprisoned in gems is as much a perversion as the undead are.
I mean, the gem isn't the final place they go, though. It's no different than what we're told about, well, I was told about the primordial sea and how all the water Genasi go back to the sea. The gem is just a holding point for them to get back to the engine. No? Is that not the same?
It's trapping them so they can't pass on. It's using them for our purposes instead of letting them go to where they need to go. But maybe we'll find out more when we go to another one of these temples.
I don't know how I'm going to convince everyone to go to Evnon. Unless...
Well, if there's one thing I've learned, it's that this journey has already taken me places I didn't think I was going to go. So maybe we will end up there.
Maybe. And then I'll wake everybody else up.
Well, in the process of waking everyone else up. So now we're in the wee hours of the morning. The sunlight's just starting to filter through the trees. And Squall gets up to start, poking at everyone else. Zephyr and Squall, you two notice a flash of light, almost like lightning, except for it's coming through the trees, not from the sky. And it's a short distance north and east of your current position.
Oh, that's never good.
And we're like, oh yeah, we were supposed to be keeping watch.
So you see that, and then a second after you see that flash, there's this like rush of wind blowing past you from that direction, and you hear the sound of something moving through the grass on the forest floor over there. We're talking probably about 60 feet, 100 feet away at this point. And that's where we're going to end it for the night. So we'll pick back up next session. Right there. So if you stuck with us this whole time, thanks so much. I really loved ending on close quarters. Those are some great close quarters scenes. Probably some of my favorites out of all the ones we've had. And then when we pick back up, we'll see what the party, how they react to this new phenomenon. But we'll see you all next Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Just before the credits roll, like Squall looks at Zephyr like, we could just run.
We've only just met these four.
Yeah. I'm still not convinced on half of them.
All right. Well, thanks everyone, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.